It's J Moore, the very best reviews. Tell them none can contest, we gon'
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the show. We back, baby. BMF, Black Mafia Family, Big Meech, Larry Hoover, everybody making moves now. BMF season 4 has begun, and episode 1 dropped. And I don't know about y'all, but I liked it. I ain't gonna lie, I liked it. It was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed seeing a little bit of the Mexico, but not focusing too much on it. And we get to see things move forward a little bit and progress, which was a good touch, I think. It was a lot of things, though, that I thought was kind of manufactured. It felt like they was always, I thought I was going to see Keenan Ivory Wayans pop up out the side. Message. It did seem like it was a lot of little messages in there that seemed like it didn't seem the way people talk realistically. Maybe they was trying to push a little something message. Anyway, it was interesting. It was good. We see Lamar back. Trying to get a couple things straight over here. We see Lamar. I don't know about a lot of y'all, but I know a lot of people that watch and this channel and know how I feel. He was one of my favorite characters, if not probably my favorite character on the show. And so it's good to see him back in action. And he can play the damn piano. What? We shall overcome. Crack rock. We tried. We gonna try to overcome revenge too. So anyway, he has some talent. Maybe, you know what I'm thinking? A lot of these people that's hating on Meech, a bunch of failed musicians that never got to shine. And, they hating. Anyway, we see Meech and Terry finally go at it. Finally had to squabble it up. And I don't know about y'all. Y'all let me know in the comments who won. Put an M or a T if you think they won, or put 2 T's if you think it was a tie. Me personally, I'm going to say a tie. It's kind of hard to say. Maybe Meech won. I would probably lean toward Meech winning because of the way Terry handled it, at least. He handled it like a bi. And from my perspective, which if I'm Terry in real life, I may or may not like this unless it was true. But I'm a type person. I try to live in truth. So if it's true, I don't get mad that the truth is out. I try not to either do those things or change my ways, But it make Terry look like a bi in this damn episode. Straight up, it looked like he jealous of Meech and jealous of everything Meech do, pretty much. Jealous of his attention, jealous of Meech shine. Didn't even want to tell the parents what's going on with him in Mexico. Now, we don't know. Maybe he didn't know that much. But the way he kind of handled it was shady, and then he even said in this episode, I've been too worried, focused on trying to outshine Meech. He gonna always be the fake. Why are you trying to outshine him? And one of the things I noticed in this episode, it made me think, is that some people, they don't focus on themselves, or they don't even understand this. They don't even think this way, but they'll be jealous of another person's shine or success, jealous of this person's attention or what they have, and instead of just looking at themselves and realizing, hey, maybe I should relax a little more. Maybe I should be a little more charismatic, or maybe I should work out and do things differently. Yeah, I may have tried this before, or I did this, but if this other person is here and they're more successful at it than me, I shouldn't argue with them and tell them, well, I've been there and done that, or I did this or that. But at the same time, they broke and ain't got nothing. Like, why don't you listen to the person that's trying to tell you? Maybe you was there and did something, but obviously it didn't work the way you would like it to work. You and people make excuses and say why it didn't work, but if you got it like that, you can do it again. You'd be right there. You wouldn't be so hard. It wouldn't anyway. People focus on that, and that's what we basically call hate. It's a lot of ways people be haters, and they hating on somebody. And Meech definitely getting some hate from his own brother, and probably because a person that's a friend or a brother can see you your ups and downs, see you, you know, and when you thinking about stuff and your thoughts, and so then they can probably either have more value and appreciation for you, because they could say, man, you know, this person do this and that, and they still can, whatever the case, or they can have less appreciation for you and say, man, this person do this and that, man, they only got this and that because of such and such. They ain't really this and that. They be barely coming up with it at the last minute. They ain't this and that. So, you know, they don't have the same appreciation as others. They begin to hate internally, you know, instead of realizing, don't hate on somebody else. When I see other people doing stuff and they successful or doing whatever, I don't be hating. I get inspired more. I always kind of been this way. I be thinking more of myself. I need to do more on me. Anyway, Terry hating hard, hard on Meech, but he kind of brought it on himself. He don't listen a lot of things. One thing is, and I'm about to get to these comments too, y'all. I appreciate y'all for coming through for this first reaction as always. And you know, for those that don't know, whenever I do the first reactions, it's live at 1 a.m. roughly, right after the episode drops on the app, and we watch it. It drop at midnight. We watch it at 1. My first time watching it, so you know. First reaction. I'm gonna get to some of these comments, but one of the things we see is that I think is Terry's biggest problem, and I don't know, it might have hurt me and got me too, is Markeisha, boy, aka Lala, boy. I love me a red bone, a thick red bone. Man, a red bone, you could be slim red bone, brown skin, or caramel complected. Oof. Man, I'm telling you, boy, I can't even lie, boy. Caramel brown skin or red bone black woman, boy, they get me too. But she playing a dirty game, both sides of the fence. Now I'm starting to remember, what season was that? Like season 2 or something like that. Season 3, where the first episode they had the police coming to get Terry, and it was a picture of Markeisha Lala on the dresser. I'm starting to think she gonna end up missing somewhere, you know, coming up stinking. And I ain't talking about because she ain't get the washy, because she over here trying to play both sides of the fence, trying to be a queen pin with Boom and Terry. And what Terry said is the truth, which is why some people like myself have a hard time with all of these queen pin drug dealer shows and things, especially back then in the 80s or 90s, because this is not a job, or equal employment opportunity career. And you got to be able to fight take people out, and that's just not something women like doing, you know. Anyway, it's hard to get respect when they know you ain't gonna be able to do any of those things. And if you do, it's just very rare. And maybe they got money to pay the people to do these things, which is possible. But she tripping on this. I'm gonna get to these comments. I'm gonna catch a couple of these from the most recent first, and then I'm gonna go back up to the top. But Peanut was good. You say a little nervous to watch this. Last season was really cringe. Hey, LMAO. This actually first episode was pretty good. I like this first episode. What's good, Crystal Mama? How you doing? Young Slim. You say like when you was going to Diddy's party and everyone knows. Hey, Meech. McDam, what's good? What's good? Queen Brielle, how you doing, Mama? Young Slim, you say you still gotta watch it. What's good? Hey, it's good, man. It's a good little episode. So they kick off the episode. One of the main themes and backstories, and one of the things that's good and bad about this being a true story is that you kind of know the history of some of these people. But if I didn't know the history of this, I would think somebody might to get killed because the way it was set up. But the theme is that Meech's little sister, Meech and Terry little sister, Nicole, is graduating high school, and everybody's talking about how she's the first of the family to graduate high school, and they throwing a party and everything. Everybody trying to do her hair, and just a lot of things about her, which she was going to Morris Brown University. I don't know, a lot of people may not be familiar with that, but it's a HBCU in Atlanta, which means she gonna probably end up around Meech and probably partying or something and end up getting, probably not finishing, but she got a full ride scholarship to Morris Brown. And when I was looking into going into school myself in the 90s, that was one of the schools. Morris Brown would let you in if you didn't have the best of grades. But, I ain't hating on Morris Brown. It was a good school. I was checking it out. Nevertheless, one of the things I saw that really was like hating on Terry is when they had that damn party for Nikki graduating, and then Meech showed up and everybody was happy to see him. Terry ain't want to say nothing. Then he gave her a car, a little Honda Civic. Terry was mad. Boy, he was salty, wasn't he? Anyway, I just think he need to, boy, I don't know, man. It's hard to understand jealousy in human beings, man. Human emotions and jealousy and stuff, man. For nothing, man. They family ain't like he taken from him or whatever. And he was what? Jealous that what's dude name in St. Louis, he ain't want to pay. He said, I'm gonna pay Meech when I talk to Meech. And one way I kind of understand what he's saying, because you want to deal with those that you want to deal with, especially in that game. But at the other hand, I do understand what Terry's saying, as in, we work together, we partners. But at the same time, in the game, that can cause confusion. Say he paid Terry, and then when Meech come, he like, where my money? I paid your brother. Oh, man, what the hell? Don't ever pay nobody but me. I ain't authorized that unless I tell you that, da. And see, that could cause problems just like that. Then he go to Terry, and Terry say he spent the money. Now Meech could be mad at Terry and dude. So in the game, you do not spend or give the money that you got somebody else's name on, pretty much. You've got fronted, you make sure you got that re-up money as well as, you know, the money you owe for that front. And whatever they had arranged, he wasn't about to drop that money. I think it was like maybe even 30 large or something, I think I heard him say. Anyway, another thing I thought was some hating is, and then I'm going to go ahead and recap a little more of this episode. Man, I meant to put this damn icy hot on, or my neck been hurt. But they showed a part where they had some type of counseling or whatever for people who lost their kids. And boy, I swear, Officer Headquarters over here, Bryant, he sure is still hating on Meech and Terry as if they the ones responsible for what his son did. If anything, the only way they responsible is that Brian wouldn't stop working, chasing their ass down all the damn time, and he didn't focus on his kid more, if anything. But one thing is crazy is that as human beings, if you love someone, you focus on the good. You try to, at least, really, especially if it's a child. And dude was talking about shorty that got gunned down in the projects, talking about he was a good kid. He liked to play hopscotch. That little Negro wasn't playing no hopscotch. That boy picked up a Uzi, talking about let's go get him. He should have been hopscotching his little fat ass in that damn house. The hell he talking about some hopscotch? He may have played it before, but that wasn't what he was doing. He should have been in the house with you. Anyway, we see B. Mickey in this piece. What y'all think, man? Y'all think it's cool that Meech still holding a grudge with B. Mickey the way he do? I almost forgot what it was about. I mean, what is Meech holding a grudge on B. Mickey for? For working with Bryant? I get it. I mean, you working with the cops, but he did stop and you know, let him know and everything, and he understand what Bryant about. They grew up together. That was his right hand man. I mean, I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments. Would you give B. Mickey a chance? You could put a Y in the comments or N. Would you give B. Mickey another chance? Because Meech was, when he was at the graduation, B. Mickey pulled up with the sick baby and this girl, and he trying to be cordial. Had the little money in the envelope for Nikki. And Meech, I take it you don't need to be here. Da 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 da. Like, damn, bro, you the one barely got here. I don't know. He sure was hating on him. Coming to see later, Lamar was about to take him out, right? Typical TV movie fashion, though. They getting the dead end. He got him cornered. B. Mickey come save the day. Typical TV fashion, or what? He only got shot in the shoulder or something. Was able to run away. Anyway, even after he gets saved by them with the shooting, what? He's still hating, talking about you shouldn't be here. Like, hold up. Really? I don't know. I don't know about that. He definitely need to give him another chance. Nah, I agree. In my opinion, I think so. Let me get to the comments in a second. Drink some of this water. Lucille got on my nerves this episode too, talking about this my house, Charles. Then you ain't even got enough money to pay for the cake. Get your cake too then with your smart ass. Here you go. Keep the change. Keep the change. What about child support? Damn. You sure you want to be celibate? You maybe need to put a little bit of that on sale. It's what you probably need to do. Sell me some to make you happy. You trying to be the church lady up in here telling everybody what to do. Okay, you let me put some cream on your cakes. Anyway, let me get to some of these comments. Young Slim, you say, yeah, you give Mickey a chance. McDam, you say they was moving that weight. They was, wasn't they? Hope Lee, you say, yeah. Yeah. Juan Marley, I forgot what he did. I did too. I did too, Juan Blaze. Hey, that's why I'm thinking, like, what was he really? I mean, I guess if it was us, we would remember like it was yesterday. You know what I mean? But I believe it's because he was working with Bryant and he was recording them and stuff, wasn't it? But then he stopped and told Meech at the last minute or whatever. Bryant was threatening his mama. I believe that's what it was. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me, but it took me a minute to think about it. McDam, you say B Mickey doesn't get another chance. I get it. It was Bryant. If it was him working with the cops, that's different. But Meech knows Bryant. It was specific. It was still messed up, but he know Bryant dirty, was holding his mama over the thing. It's very complicated. After you just pop Lamar and save me, I'd give him another chance, definitely. I would, definitely. I wouldn't have been so mean at the graduation either. I would have just gave him the highlight. And then he would have felt unwelcome. McDam, you say he was snitching. Basically, he was snitching. Really. Ain't no yeah, he was doing some basic snitching for real. But he was being blackmailed. He did stop. And what he was doing, Bryant really couldn't use because he was running him off the books. So, in a way, it was some crazy situation. He should have told Meech from the beginning, I agree. And he had the time and opportunity. And they could have used things and set Brian up better. It came too close. It came too close, really. You know. So, you know. Let me get to some of these other comments I missed right quick. McDam, you say it's still so crazy how much they were moving for two African Americans from the hood in Detroit. Big Meech and Terry were really doing it. You know, I think that's another thing that they kind of showed when he was in Mexico, because I don't know if they implied that they came across some voodoo or something. But in the beginning of the episode, we see Meech and Terry and Loco, and they running through the through the desert. We don't know why, where, somewhere in Mexico, and some people are shooting at them. And it was close. We don't know why they were shooting at them, but it came close. And one of the things that they happened while they was taking a break and talking, and one of the things they were saying is what? Loco was wearing a dress. And so well, anyway, while they talking, Meech get bit by a snake. And so while Meech is there getting bit by the snake, they panicking, he tweaking, he fall out. They don't know what to do. And they in the middle of the desert. And right before he got bit by the snake, they were saying what? They had what? A 3-day hike over somewhere to get to where they need to go. Which, damn, that might have killed you alone, walking through the desert in 3 days. You know, a lot of people do die crossing the desert trying to get through the border. and they be carrying a couple water jugs, gallons of water, and all kind of stuff, power bars. Anyway, the way that they edited this episode, it kept me interested. It did a good job with the editing, I think, this episode, because you really didn't get the full story of what happened in Mexico to the end. And that's when we see that, I guess, I don't know where the hell they get this damn dude, but some voodoo dude, dirty Mexican dude, long hair, they bring him in, and he got a chicken, and he wasn't trying to make a meal. I guess he did some type of sacrifice, killed the chicken, did the bones and blood, and put it on Meech's leg. The whole time Terry trying to stop it, saying, we Christian, we don't believe in the voodoo. And at the same time, Loco said, "Cámate, cállate, cállate." And he let it go. And according to the episode, after he laid them damn chicken bones on his leg, he popped right up. They didn't have any anti-venom. He ain't suck them off with the poison. He ain't suck that poison off. And ain't do none of that nastiness to try to help him. He just laid 2 dirty chicken bones over the snake bite in the form of a cross, and he was healed. Then he had some type of voodoo prophecy for Meech. And what he told him is that he was going to be special, and he a great leader and all these things, and he'd be a legend. And Terry, he getting a little heated, talking about, man, whatever. What is this? And Meech is, because he's saying this ain't right or whatever. And Meech is saying, no, this is right. I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to get out of this lie. And he kind of embraced, he looked at it as God is trying to help them and want them to make it. And Terry looked at it as this ain't God. So, they kind of live a conflicted life. One of the things I know must be crazy for them, they mama, all of that, is that she very spiritual, very religious. So they they do know. It's been, proven about God. And he even said, God say you should put no other gods before him. He said that. Terry told Meech that when he was getting a little KFC 2-piece on his leg. And he let him know, that, so they know about the Lord and spirituality. And to be pretty much living a life, selling drugs, possibly killing people, ready to kill, because he was damn near ready to put the foo-fops on St. Louis dope boy, although he ain't look worried. And dude, I think he is a real person. I mean, I could have swore I seen him before, unless I didn't seen him in other movies or something. But I think I seen him in the interview, dude from St. Louis or something, a few times. But anyway, that's my thoughts on that. Peanut, you say, please tell that flamethrower chick is dead. What flamethrower chick? You know what I thought was, these women, something else, boy, fine. But Lala talking to old girl in the records department, and how we got to stick together. And girl, all of that conversation just seemed so fake. That's one of the situations where I was implying earlier that some of these conversations and things, they didn't seem genuine. They seem fake and manufactured. Anyway, let's see. McDam, you say, or you give Big Mickey one more chance and test his loyalty right away. I mean, that's true. I mean, how many of you all think you still need to test Big Mickey loyalty after he just came and pop Lamar to save him. If he really wanted to, he could have took out Meech and Terry right then. Truth be told, he popped Lamar. He could have took out Lamar, Meech, and Terry all in one swoop. Bop, 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 and then broke out. Could have. So, you know, this is my thoughts. Lamar was about to smash big draws up in the damn rehab in the beginning. He was ready to ride or die before he go. He say, hey, he ain't nothing really work for him when he get out. So it shows that some people are kind of institutionalized, unfortunately. And the way that the system works is once you start to have problems, it gets more difficult to get out. They say it's things out there to help you and whatever. And I'm not saying that it isn't, and I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but it's more difficult is what I'm saying. Life gets more difficult for most people the more serious things you go through, like getting felonies or, getting shot and things like that. So, anyway, Lamar, he knows in his heart, what is he going to do? Go get a job? He knows he'll probably fall back into some of his own problems, which I feel bad for him in a sense because he can't do nothing. Oh, yeah, Peanut. You say the flamethrower chick, Henry. I forgot all about Henrietta. Yeah. You say, please tell that the flamethrower. I forgot what happened to Henrietta. Is Henrietta dead? I forgot all about that damn old Henry. What I used to call Henrietta. MC Hammer. MC Hammer. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let me see, cover a couple more things right quick. Give it to MOSCO, and then I'm going to put the link in. Anybody want to come up and chat about the episode, we can go ahead and chop it up or whatever. What y'all think about Terry trying to gamble? He's struggling with money. Talking about he trying to gamble to get back, make up some loot. I mean, he done met this one female at the casino. I think that might end up being trouble. I think Terry and some of these women that he's been meeting may be a problem for him in the future. And his ride or die baby mama, he kind of leaving her to the side a little bit. Kind of, I guess, been there, done that. She in the kitchen doing hair, struggling. So, anyway, in the beginning, like I said earlier, we see them in Mexico, Meech, Terry, and Loco getting shot at. They try to make it out of there. We then see him get bit by the snake, which could be a metaphor because it is some snake bite. In Chicago, it's some gangs, Mickey Cobra, things like that, or different initiations and other cults and things, or it could be an, allegory or something to the sense of initiation. He changed down in Mexico. He was down there for a minute. Henry got smoked in jail. That's right. I forgot all about that. Oh, hen dog. Anyway, we see their mama trying to be a preacher. She had a new church. She had to go before the council, and they said, "Hey, your kids ain't living right, and you divorced. You was getting your freak on." They didn't say that part, but they had to ask, "Why should we let you lead this flock?" Which I didn't know. That you didn't have to possibly well, maybe back then, but go to seminary school or something like that. I don't know. I never really looked into how to do that, be a pastor or whatever. So I got some idea. But anyway, it actually should be the way that they did, that the Bible and your life and things, because I don't think a person necessarily had to go and get a regimented thing done in the past. I don't know. Anyway, she said, I'm one of the people. And I know that must be hard when you know your kids kind of living that life, but you still want to love your kids. And then you sanctified at the same time trying to correct them. I know in my case, it's like reverse. My son is sanctified and living the life, and he be trying to correct me, like as if I'm the one out there living like Big Meech or doing something. I ain't doing a damn thing, but boy, let him tell it. He gonna try to correct and everything. Plus, he very Catholic Church oriented, so that's a lot of guilt. And anyway, I'd rather him be doing that than taking people out. So it is what it is. Anyway, so we see her going through that. I wonder what Nikki future hold. I hope she don't get mixed in with Meech in Atlanta. It looked like that might possibly happen, but she got the full ride scholarship. She got a lot of things going for her positive. Possibly not. And that Honda Civic was a nice car at the time. Honda Civics was a nice hot vehicle to get, believe it or not, and trendy. They looked good at the time because a lot of cars were still square and boxy. And so to get that right there, she was doing one, you know. We see after that car, that gift, Meech and Terry's rivalry, Terry's jealousy, everything finally come to a head. And I think maybe it did for a couple reasons. One, Terry was already in fight and beast mode. I don't know about some people, but whenever I've been in like ready to fight or beast mode, if somebody else step in or something, you kind of say or do something to them because you was still amped up or whatever. I mean, I ain't never started fighting the next person that got in the middle of this or that or whatever. Plus, I ain't been in this type of situation since long, long time. Anyway, when you in that situation, so Terry is in the diner and he about ready to put the foo-fops, put some hands on JT from St. Louis. He done said either we getting our money in cash or blood, and told them to lock the doors. They got the lights off. He got dudes surrounded. He literally about to get up and do something to do. When Meech knock on the door, they like, oh, they go Meech, and everybody always happy to see him. Which one that make him mad? Everybody always happy to see him, like he the Messiah, which he already got upset telling one of his boys earlier in the episode about that. And so now, when when Meech come in and tell Terry, dude already paid and we all good. Now he mad because he looked bad. That show they got poor communication. You got me over here trying to look like the big bad wolf for nothing. Now I gotta pull it back, which make me look what? Like I'm under your control. So I can get where he could feel that way. Oh, whatever your big brother tell you to do, you do. So shut up, little brother. So in that regard, he can allow that if he wants to get respect and stand as his own man. You can't have it that whatever Meech say goes, and if he come and tell you stop, or he tell you do this, or he tell you whatever, that's what you do, and you don't really have say so. That's a bad look for him. But he put himself in that situation by pressing dude so hard instead of waiting to see what Meech had to say his damn self. You know, sometimes people put themselves in a corner in a bad situation, and then say you made me look bad, but you didn't have to keep doing that. Impressed dude sending people down there because he was about to send people down there. That conversation on the phone was a little shady, where Terry earlier in the episode called dude, and they like, man, I ain't paying you. You wasting my time pretty much. I pay your brother, basically. So it's not a full disrespect because you saying I will pay your brother. I just ain't paying you. So it ain't that I ain't paying y'all, screw y'all. It's just screw you. Which I get it. Don't nobody like to hear that. Anyway, they end up fighting. It was a good fight. I liked it. And everybody in the diner liked it. I wonder who Terry's crew was rooting for, because at the same time, they Meech crew, everybody love Meech. He very charismatic. They say even to this day, he a very charismatic person. So, I mean, hey, that goes a long way. You can be very smart and detail oriented, but if you a jerk or rub people the wrong way, or you, whatever the case, bossy, it may not go as far as somebody that's very charismatic, but maybe not detailed oriented as much. But then you could have those people that are detail oriented help you if you very charismatic. Whereas if you not, it's a little harder because you're gonna probably have to do a lot more on your own. Anyway, we see them fighting in the diner. Meech kind of got the best of him because I think it was a tie. It could have been, but where Terry went wrong is, for one, he pulled out a knife. So that was a bitch move right there. So what, you gonna kill your brother? You gonna stab your brother in front of everybody because you couldn't beat him up? Because if you'd have beat him up, you wouldn't have pulled out the knife. So that was messed up. And then he gonna tell everybody, get out. Get out. Mexico made you deaf. Get out. So that was whack. The knife and the get out was whack. He could have got up and then just talk some shit like, yeah, I ain't that little brother no more. Yeah, it ain't gonna be no easy push around, whatever. And then he could be like, I just beat your head. He could be like, you ain't beat nothing. We went toe to toe. Da 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 da. And then, hey, who's to know? It wasn't no judges. It wasn't a scorecard. But once you do those things, you look like a puss, in my opinion. DeMarcus Vaughn, man, thank you for the super chat, my brother. Appreciate the love. You say that snake biting Meech was a subliminal shot at Rick Ross. What you mean? What you mean the snake bite was a subliminal shot at Rick Ross? Explain, my brother. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and do the MOSCO, and then I'm going to put the link in, so if anybody want to come up and talk about this episode, you'd be more than happy to. All right. So let me know what you mean about that snake bite. I definitely don't know about that with Rick Ross. Now, I'm going to give my MOSCO rating, which is the way I try to rate episodes, be non-biased for those that don't know. So let's get to it. All right. Now, the MOSCO, like I said, is my rating system. Real simple. Just 4 categories, 25 points each. I know most of y'all tired of hearing me say that, but for those that's new, 25 points each add up to $1. And I always give a plus minus 5 for those feelings. Anyway, the visual cinematography for this episode, I thought was pretty good. We saw a couple flashbacks, like Shorty getting shot, and he was holding the Shorty, or, different things with how they did them in Mexico. They had a lot of aerial drone video and things they look like they used. I think they did a good job, and it also didn't feel To me, again, I only watched it the one time, but it didn't look like it was old like it usually did. Again, I'm gonna have to look at it again, but it looked like they starting to update it a little bit. I guess it's in the 90s, even though the 90s is still old technology. But anyway, I liked it. Overall, they had a couple good scenes. I like the Meech fight and things, but nothing that'll knock your socks off. So overall, out of 25 points, I'll give it a let me give it a 20. A 20. Storyline and plot. I enjoyed the storyline for this episode. I think they did a good job. If we're going to compare it to Raising Kanan episode 1 for the last season 4, whatever, 5, whatever it was for, I like how they mixed some flashbacks and a little old with the new in this series, in this episode, better than Kanan. Not that they were both bad, not that Kanan was bad, but I think that this kept the flow better with the episode. And so, with that being said, I'm gonna give this storyline and plot. I like how Lamar can play the piano. He's got a little hidden talent. Crackheads can do a lot, man. They better change your card, played the piano, and shot at your rivals for $10. Anyway, the Meech, I want to know a little more about the Mexico. I think they're going to sprinkle the rest of that story in the next episodes or 2 coming up, because they didn't really explain that enough. But it was good. I like seeing Nikki and things. They showing that life goes on, even though a lot of stuff happens in life. Regular life still happens. And also Markeisha trying to play both sides of the fence, going to see Boom. I just know that's going to end up getting Terry and Meech into some stuff where Meech going to keep telling Terry about getting that little wee-wee in trouble, getting him in trouble because of his wee-wee. Because Meech ain't like Markeisha for the longest, right? Little red bone. Hey, when they showed Markeisha, Lala, talking to Terry in that apartment from that side view, boy, that's a grown woman. There's some things, man, I ain't gonna lie. It really make me wish, boy. I wish I ain't get her injured. Not that I was gonna be with Lala Anthony, of course. I ain't delusional. But boy. Anyway, moving along, I would give this storyline and plot, I give it a 22 for this episode. Special effects, makeup, costumes. I forgot what we was even doing for a second, thinking about Lala Anthony, y'all. I would say special effect, makeup, costumes, just on par. Nothing spectacular. They had the ladies looking nice or whatever, but for the most part, nothing memorable. I would say even a notch below Raising Kanan and whatever else, Power or whatever. So I would give it a 19. I do like seeing Meech in the cocaine white bins and things like that, but overall, you know. And last but not least, entertainment, fun factor, which is the most important category, because if it wasn't entertaining and you ain't enjoy it, then it didn't matter what budget they put and what they did. I did like seeing, like at the end, So Def Records, they showing his vision for trying to basically launder money in the music industry while at the same time have fun. But in the end, I'm gonna give it I enjoyed this episode. I'm gonna watch it again. I would give this a 22. I give this episode entertainment fun factor of 22, which would bring this to an 83 on the MOSCO, which is decent. It's a solid B plus, nearly a B plus. I say what, over 85 is a B plus. Nevertheless, it was a good one, and I'm looking forward to watching it again. Hell, I may end up adjusting my ratings, and who knows? I did like Charles. He was lying to his boys about what he been doing on the road. That was interesting. Uh, let's see. DeMarcus Vaughn, you say 50 calling Rick Ross a snake. You had to tell me more about that. So 50 been calling him a snake. So then what? Have the snake bite Meech? As in what? That Rick Ross turned Meech, infected Meech? Rick Ross a snake. Then he bit Meech, infected him, turned him against his brother. So 50 Cent is Terry and Meech is the real Meech. DeMarcus Vaughn, Lucille was treating Charles badly. Man, they got a lot of that going on these shows, man. And she telling him, that's my house. Don't get the door. Don't do this. Don't do that. But then when she ain't had no money to pay for the cake and he paid, wasn't no thank you or nothing. She hating doing this. I mean, what's going on, man? What's with boy, oh boy, that relationship is something. McDam, you say next Sunday I'll come on and chop it up with you. I got to work at 7 a.m. tomorrow. That's what's up, man. It's all good. No pressure. I'm going to go live tonight at 5 on Friday after it releases for everybody to see. So that'll be at 9 or 10 p.m. I'll go live. So anybody that ain't able to go live with the first reaction, definitely if you want to check it out, I will be live. Check back in today, Friday, after the episode airs publicly. My girl B, what's up, beautiful B? How you doing, mama? How's everything with you? Appreciate you for checking in and all the support. DeMarcus Vaughn, you say 50 basically saying that Meech taking the picture with Rick Ross was snake-like. Okay. I mean, I'm not beyond believing they put these subliminal messages and things in movies and shows, because I know that they do. And hey, you might be putting me up on game. I didn't know, but I wouldn't, like I say, I wouldn't put it past them. DeMarcus Vaughn, you say people forgot that Boom was snitching on BMF to Detective Brian and Jen. Yeah, I forgot that. What? He was snitching. I forgot, be honest with you, what ended up landing him in jail. It seemed like BMF ain't been on in a minute. McDam, you say Raising Cane clothes, jewelry, cars were just on another level. Facts. Raising Canaan, their jewelry, costumes, wardrobe, they put in a lot of money and research. Those people have a fashion sense. It doesn't seem like, well, I take that back, because Meech does have a fashion sense, and Terry doesn't have a good fashion sense to me. But Meech, like, he was wearing what? Sergio Tacchini jogging suit, velour, which people would wear that today. And this is what, in the 90s, but a lot of 90s fashion that was dope people would wear today. But, you know, Meech was looking good. Terry was wearing nothing memorable. So Meech is about the only one that has a good fashion sense. The rest of them kind of tacky. I hate to say it, but some of these Detroit player styles, although they don't actually dress Detroit player, they ain't wearing pink gaiters and and Maury gators and furs, blue furs and stuff. They actually don't dress that way, at least not yet on the show. And Terry, he kind of dressed like a little Mr. T or whatever. T is what they call it. Wearing all them chains. He was wearing a bunch of chains and stuff. I bet he ain't wearing chains like Mr. T, but he ain't really got no style. You know. So Selena for life. What's good, Selena for life? How you doing, mama? You say I'm happy Lamar and B Mickey are back. We didn't see it coming. Time just moved so fast, and Charles' voice. Time just moved so fast. We didn't even see it coming. Nope. Not at all. Not one bit. Yeah, man, it is good to have him back. I was talking about that earlier in the episode. This episode, I'm doing the live stream, rather, I should say. The episode. But it is good. I was talking about earlier, should Meech forgive Mickey? Should he let it go by now? I mean, even after he popped Lamar, he still was holding it. And I get it. A snitch is a snitch is a snitch. But I think the snitching with Bryant was so unique. Meech knows the detective. He knows this is personal. He knows Mickey was being blackmailed himself. And it's complicated, you know. It was complicated. I wouldn't probably look at it the same as if he was snitching just to some old rando cops. Just took the deal and just threw me under the bus. You know, he had to get blackmailed and all kind of stuff. Something regular cops couldn't do, you know. And then Brian probably would have whacked him too. I wouldn't put it past him. And so what would you do? Take out Brian? Which then if you get caught, you go down big time, boy. They give you the electric chair or something. So yeah, that's something else. And then he a dirty cop at that too. So well, Brian technically he used to be, because remember in season 1 he used to take money from Meech till Meech kind of sold him out a little bit and talked to him, treated him bad. Brian felt disrespected rather, and that was the end of it. He basically been on Meech ever since. Like, dude, you was dirty. You used to work for me. Now you mad because of our disagreement, and now you want to make it your life mission. I mean, at a certain point, I'd be like Meech. I wouldn't have talked to him and did that. I don't like to burn bridges, but at the same time, at this point, I'd be mad too if I was Meech. He done did too much. He done took it to a whole nother level. You know. McDam, you say, I guess Meech was getting information off Brian in season 1, but he was a dirty cop. Yeah, I mean, wasn't he paying Brian for other stuff than information? I thought he was paying Brian for a bunch of stuff. I can't remember. I know he was paying Brian, working with him with something. I don't think it was just information. And maybe it got down to that, but I think he was actually paying him for others. I can't remember, but I thought they were somewhat working together, or he was looking the other way while they was doing what they do, something like that. I can't remember though. You know, McDam, you say some would say talking to a cop in general is frowned upon. Well, that's why this is complicated, because Bryant is not just a regular cop. Remember, he was their little league coach or something. So he been in their life for a long time. They was selling dope at what, 12, 13? So they knowing him around the same time, they what, little league coach. They just happen to be a cop. He probably trying to look out for them as shorties living this life, paying the money, working together, doing this. He kind of entangled a lot into their life a little differently than most police officers would be in the high profile dope boy, life. So that's why I say Meech probably should give B Mickey a chance. I mean, ain't no problem. He should, especially after what he did with Lamar, especially after what everything happened with Bryant and all that Bryant do and been through. I think it's about that time. But we'll see. That's what the beauty of watching the show is, right? But that's also the good thing that we can speculate and talk and make up what we want when we want to, right? So that's the good thing as well. Get ready to wrap it up in here in a second. Let's see. McDam, the only one with comments left. What's good, y'all? What y'all think of this episode? What would y'all rate it? What would you give it? A B, C, a 80, a 90, a 8, a 7, a 6? What would y'all rate it? Let me know in the comments below. Wake y'all ass up. Wake it up. Wakey, wakey. Eggy, bakey. McDam, you say it was definitely a complicated situation. Brian is trying to make some extra money and watch out for them so they didn't starve. Right. Yeah, he probably called himself as these little Negroes right here. You know, they good kids, but they struggling. Try to let them do this. Hopefully they don't get killed. I look out for them or whatever. Hopefully they stop. Hopefully they don't get busted before whatever. They making money now. Okay, hopefully they break me off. Hopefully they keep breaking me off. you know. Hope Lee, what's good? What's good? You got a 75. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So, you ain't too far off from what I said. I said what, an 83? I always give a 5-point swing margin. And so, that would put it at a 75, which I mean is 78, I mean, which, it's in line close. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't whoa, knock your socks off. But I enjoyed it. I'm gonna watch it again, of course. So, with that regards, one thing I don't like in these movies and shows, which let me finish working on what I'm doing and things, and I'm gonna start putting together my things. But they always have somebody get shot, and then they cut to something else, and then you cut back, and they was able to run away and get away, and nobody saw nothing or whatever. I'm like, how many times they gonna use that same tactic in storytelling across the board? Like some of the same storytelling tactics out there is kind of worn out. I got a couple ideas, and with the way things is going with technology, hell, it's gonna be easier to create stuff with your ideas than ever before. Selena for life. You ain't seen it yet. You're on the West Coast. Okay, it's all good. So you what? 3 hours behind. You got what? You got one more hour to go before it's on. Once again, it's on. I hope I ain't spoil it for you, Selena. Selena. Selena was a bad mama jama, wasn't she? Yvonne Cox. Lamar is back. Yes, mama. Lamar. And that's one of the things I said earlier is that, and you all let me know if you agree, but the Lamar was probably my favorite character, if not one of the top 2 or 3 favorite characters of mine. And I think a lot of people felt that way. And so it was good to see him back. You all let me know in the comments who is your favorite character in this show. It is kind of an ensemble cast. Lamar probably owned the show by himself more than anybody else. If I was to pick one person, to be honest, in my opinion, but it's supposed to be an ensemble cast. McDam, you give it a 87 to a 90. That's what's up. I mean, I could see it being close to a high B, A minus maybe. It's got a nice margin swing. Crystal, you say I thought they was cool. I'm confused. I'm behind on the comments. You thought who was cool? Meech and Terry? It seemed like they was cool in Mexico. That's why I think during the rest of the season we'll see more of what happened to them in Mexico, because we really don't know the story of why he's so mad. McDam, you say it wasn't their best episode, probably a solid B. Yeah, it was a solid B, definitely. That's why I could see the swing if somebody think it was a B minus to a B plus, basically a C plus to an A minus. I'm going to give it a solid B. And then based on people, feelings or what they like, it can go up or down, but not up and down a lot. It's still in that range, in my opinion. Yvonne, you say Lamar had them dead to rights. Man, for real. Then he wanted to talk, but he wasn't talking at all when he first pulled up, and they ain't have no damn ammunition, which, you got to always be careful with that. Hope Lee, you say you got to get back into BMF after Raising Canaan. It's a little slow. Yeah, this episode was a more fast pace than episode 1 of Raising Canaan. So I would give you that. But overall, they are kind of similar. It is good to see that he gonna probably see them getting into Mexico and the record and stuff industry. Not that they made a bunch of big hits, but it's showing something different than the Raising Canaan life, mix it up a little more. Yvonne, you said, I did not like the 6 months past since the trip to Mexico. Me neither. That's why I say I believe they're going to have to do some splaining. There's some splaining, some Dimitri. Dimitri, you have some splainings to do? It's a message, though. She was in Mexico 6 meses. 6 meses, México. ¿Qué pasó, Dimitri? ¿Qué pasó? Dimitri. Yeah, we got to know what in the world. Young Slim, you say, what happened to Pat? Pat who? You say, what happened to Pat? I don't even know who you talk about, so we really need to know what happened to him. Selena, you say, I'm so happy Miles Davis water got caught off last season. Selena, remember Miles Davis? Miles Davis, hey, look here, partner. Hey, y'all go ahead with them gold teeth. Hey, look here, I'm going to take care of y'all. Okay, I'm the boss. They keep making these female drug kingpin wannabes in these shows. Miles Davis, boy. Turn out the lights. Now, who switched the drinks? No, that was Ray Charles. Now, who switched the drinks? That Coca-Cola. Yeah, man, for real. Pat is their first plug that raised them. Oh, shoot. Boy, I sure forgot about Pat. Jake Gwynethworth, thanks for letting me know. I sure forgot about Pat. You say that sock meat in the stomach. Man, you going back in the archives, right? Didn't Pat wear glasses? Wood Harris, that's right. Yeah. Duh. Why y'all ain't just say Wood Harris? Y'all making a brother think over here so late as early. You know, my brain old. I can't remember certain names, man. What y'all doing over here to me? You playing with my emotions. But yeah, Wood Harris. I still was talking about some. Didn't Pat wear glasses? But Wood Harris did have glasses on in the show. So my mind still was kind of remembering, but I'm like, man, Wood Harris. Anyway, DeMarcus Vaughn, I hope we get K9 in this season to BMF. K9. Ain't he in jail? They done locked him up. Y'all trying to jog my memory tonight, ain't you? K9. All right, y'all. Anything about this episode I missed? Anybody want to say before we get up out of here? What y'all think about Lala and her plan to be Queen Pen? I guess she want to take over. She want to re-record Miles Davis classics. She gonna remix them. She ain't even got it cut out to do this stuff. I mean, well, you never know. I put it this way. She probably won't get her hands dirty herself, at least. She'll have a crew, and she can have them do a lot of stuff, pay them well, maybe get some people hemmed up, and then she go do something. But I just can't see Lala trying to do a drive-by or locking somebody in the damn diner ready to whoop that ass, you know what I'm saying? Or threatening somebody, especially in this game. They ain't trying to hear it from her. I just really doubt that would work. Straight up. You see her with all that booty trying to get in the back seat with a damn machine gun. You say he in jail with Boone, Wood Harris. Okay. Oh no, K9 in jail with Boone. You mean? Yeah, K9. DeMarcus Vaughn, you say Spider and Worm will probably help Marquisha move weight. Man, stop trying to think of people. You know I don't know who that is. Spider and Worm. You made that up. Spider and Worm. Who is that? Is that the fat boy that's Meech's right hand man? I mean Terry right hand? Spider and Worm. I don't like that Marquisha storyline, and I don't know where it's going. I hope she don't set him up, but ain't nothing worse for a man than to have your woman setting you up. Because then that's a big trust issue. And that's something that you probably going to have with all women going forward. And that ain't going to be a good feeling. That ain't a good situation. Before I get out of here, that just brought me to thinking about old boy on Ghost Adventures, whose wife was trying to get him whacked. And now he lived with armed security and all kind of stuff. So you never know. I'd hate to be in that situation, boy. That's scary. Anyway, let's see. DeMarcus Vaughn, you say Hoop is Terry and Meech's right hand man. Okay, big boy. Terry be talking to him crazy, boy. Terry, boy, I don't think Terry appreciate him. And like he was saying, bro, what's going on with Meech? I mean, Terry wouldn't tell nobody. And I mean, at a certain point, like the parents and dude deserve to know something. But anyway, I think Terry hate the dude like Meech so much. He like, man, who the one make sure his money and food on the table? Who want to do this while Meech is gone? All right then. Which I can understand a little bit about, maybe a little bit of how much Meech get the respect, even though Terry do a certain amount of stuff, but Terry do get a lot of respect and appreciation. But when you are in comparison mode in life, then you are in a bad mental state, because it's always somebody doing better than you in life. Always somebody doing something you would like to do, or have something you wouldn't mind having, or whatever. And if you always in that mode, sure, that's going to rob happiness in a way, because you always see, well, I got this, but somebody else is doing this or got that, and so instead of focusing on his appreciation and respect that he has, he always worried about how much respect and appreciation Meech is getting, and in that regards, he ain't happy because he worried about the next person. As some people say, he got living rent free in his head, when he should be worried about his own things and appreciation what he got. Anyway, let me get up out of here, y'all. I appreciate everybody for coming through. I'll be back live this Friday tonight at 9 or 10, whenever this episode 1 of BMF airs on Stars. I'll go live and talk about it. So until then, y'all be safe out there. Deuces. And I'm out. Peace.